The Imperial Starfleet's command center was vast, a glittering hub of lights, holograms, and alien officers bustling around. The room hummed with the steady rhythm of technology, machines calculating trajectories, communications buzzing with reports from hundreds of ships across the star system, and alien officers striding briskly between consoles. The Empire had long believed that nothing in the galaxy could challenge its might. Their fleets were enormous, their technology advanced, and their tactics precise. They had conquered countless systems with confidence, and their officers were proud of their reputation. Admiral Krath, a tall, blue-skinned alien with sharp eyes and numerous medals on his chest, surveyed the bridge with calm authority. His fleet was stationed around a newly conquered star system, one that the Empire had claimed just weeks ago. It was a quiet system, with 3 planets and a dense asteroid belt that made travel dangerous for anyone unskilled. Krath's officers were busy coordinating patrols, scanning for hidden threats, and preparing ceremonial formations to demonstrate the Empire's dominance. "Report," Krath commanded, his voice calm but firm. "Energy readings near the outer edge of the system, Admiral," said a junior officer, his antennae twitching nervously. "They are unusual. Nothing like our standard patrol data." Krath raised an eyebrow. "Unusual how?" "They fluctuate, Admiral. Subspace distortions, possibly a probe or some minor ship. But the patterns are irregular. Nothing we have seen before," the officer replied. Krath considered this for a moment. The Empire had faced many alien civilizations, some primitive, some highly advanced. But humans, as far as he knew, were not supposed to be here. Humans were simple, slow, and lacking in advanced technology compared to the Empire. "Keep monitoring," he ordered. "I want full scans of the area. I do not want surprises. The Empire's strength must never be questioned." The officers nodded, their faces serious. Confidence flowed through the command center. They believed in their numbers, their weapons, and their shields. They believed the galaxy would always bow to them. They did not know that in the darkness beyond the system, something very human was approaching, and that calm would soon shatter. Far from the Empire's patrols, in the shadowed expanse near the outer rim, a human battleship moved silently. Its hull was sleek, dark, and unassuming, a predator in a galaxy that had underestimated it. Inside, the bridge was a sharp contrast to the Imperial hub. Fewer people, but every station was manned with focus and discipline. There were no elaborate medals, no grand uniforms, only crew members in functional suits, each performing their task with precision. Captain Elena Ward stood at the command chair, her posture relaxed but alert. Her eyes scanned the holographic displays in front of her, observing the Imperial fleet's patterns. She had been here before in simulations, studying how aliens of the Empire thought, how they reacted, and how they fought. Humans were not the largest or most powerful species in the galaxy, but they were clever, they were fast thinkers. They could adapt when others could not, and Captain Ward knew that today, this would make all the difference. "Crew, all stations report," Ward said. Her voice was calm but carried authority. "All systems nominal," said Lieutenant Chen, monitoring the engines. "Stealth drive ready. No signatures detected by Imperial sensors." "Navigation clear," said Ensign Rami, his hands moving quickly across controls. "We are on course for the Central Fleet Cluster." "Shields at minimum. Weapons on standby," reported Lieutenant Vargas, scanning for any detection attempts. Ward nodded. "Good. Keep calm. Stick to protocol. We do this clean and precise. One mistake, and we are exposed." The human ship moved like a shadow, slipping through the outer asteroid fields, avoiding the Empire's sensors with advanced subspace cloaking technology. The aliens believed their detection arrays were unmatched. They had no idea that humans had learned to exploit weaknesses they didn't even know existed. Back at the Imperial Command Center, Admiral Krath moved among his officers, reviewing reports. A few were jittery at the unusual energy readings, but most dismissed it. They believed the humans were slow, and even if they were here, they could not possibly be a threat to the might of the Empire. One officer, a smaller, green-skinned alien named Vrel, spoke up nervously. "Admiral, if it is a human ship, we should prepare a small strike team. Their technology is primitive, but even primitive ships can be dangerous if underestimated." Krath turned sharply, his eyes narrowing. "Humans? Do you honestly think one human ship could challenge us?" His voice carried a mix of disbelief and irritation. "Our fleets number hundreds. Our shields are near impenetrable. Our weapons can destroy entire planets. A single human ship? Ridiculous. Prepare the ceremonial patrols for the system. Show the galaxy we are in control. Nothing more is needed." Vrel hesitated, but nodded. He did not question the Admiral further. In the Empire, questioning authority was dangerous. Confidence and loyalty were valued above all else. The officers returned to their stations, still discussing the anomaly in low voices. Most dismissed it, focusing on the scheduled maneuvers. The Empire's pride blinded them. They could not see the danger until it was too late. Meanwhile, the human battleship continued its approach. Captain Ward stood silently at the helm, thinking ahead. The Imperial fleet believed in strength through numbers. Humans believed in strength through strategy. One well-placed strike could disable a dozen ships. One clever maneuver could save hundreds of lives, and humans never underestimated their enemies. "Sensors show we are within range of the main fleet cluster," reported Lieutenant Chen. "No detection yet. They are confident, unaware." Ward's lips curled slightly into a faint smile. "Good. Keep it that way. Timing is everything. Wait for my mark. We do this clean, precise, and fast. No unnecessary engagement. Our goal is to show them humans are not to be underestimated." The crew worked silently, each member trusting the other completely. There was no panic, no show of arrogance, just quiet focus and determination. Back on the Imperial Bridge, the ceremonial patrols had begun. Ships moved in perfect formations, their shields glowing with energy. Officers watched the display, some nodding with pride, others taking notes for reports. The Admiral observed all of it, satisfied with the Empire's apparent control. "Everything is proceeding according to plan," he said. "The humans will not interfere. They are too slow, too uncoordinated. By the time they reach us, our patrols will have destroyed them without effort." A junior officer hesitated, raising a hand. "Admiral, the energy readings are still fluctuating. They seem intelligent." Krath waved the officer off. "Intelligence does not matter if it cannot match our firepower. Continue monitoring, but do not worry. This system is under our control. The humans are nothing." Confidence filled the room. Laughter echoed from the officers' ranks. No one noticed the tiny anomaly in the sensors, a brief flicker of energy that moved against expected patterns. The human battleship had already slipped through the outer defenses, unseen and unchallenged. Hours passed, and the humans drew closer. Captain Ward watched the holographic map, noting each Imperial ship's position. She had trained her crew for this moment, and now all simulations and calculations would be tested in reality. "Distance to fleet cluster, 20,000 kilometers, Chen reported. "Stealth is holding. No detection." Ward nodded. "Good. Maintain course. Prepare for decloak sequence in 3 minutes. Weapons, ready, but do not fire until I give the order. Everyone, steady." The human crew held their positions with disciplined silence. There was no fear, only confidence in their training and preparation. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, silent witnesses to the impending encounter. Back on the Imperial Command Bridge, Admiral Krath reviewed his patrol schedules. He barely noticed the faint readings blinking intermittently on the sensor console. Vrel, the nervous officer, stared at it and swallowed hard. Something about the pattern was wrong. But before he could speak again, the Admiral waved him away. "Patrols are in position. Nothing can go wrong now," Krath said firmly. "The Empire is unmatched. We are supreme. Let the humans come. They will not survive." He had no idea that the calm confidence in his command center was about to shatter. In the darkness of space, a human ship was approaching silently, its crew prepared for the moment when the Empire's arrogance would meet human ingenuity. In the shadow of the asteroid field, the human battleship glided forward, undetected, silent, and precise. Every crew member was aware of the stakes, aware of the history they were about to create. The galaxy had underestimated humans before. Soon the Empire would understand why they should never do so again. And far away, in the command center, the first sign of the coming storm was about to appear. A single energy spike that would make Admiral Krath's heart skip a beat. The Imperial Starfleet Command Center hummed with routine activity. Officers moved between consoles, checking patrol reports and reviewing ceremonial formations. Admiral Krath had just returned from inspecting the outer patrol routes, satisfied that everything was in order. His confidence was steady. The Empire was unmatched. There was nothing in this sector that could challenge them. And yet, something was stirring beyond their sensors, a presence that the Empire had not anticipated. In the shadowed expanse just beyond the outer asteroid belt, the human battleship glided silently. Its hull, dark and sleek, reflected only the faint starlight. Inside, Captain Elena Ward's eyes scanned the tactical displays, observing the positions of hundreds of Imperial ships. She did not underestimate them. The Empire was vast, strong, and ruthless. But she knew one simple truth. Humans were unpredictable. "Distance to Central Fleet Cluster. 5,000 kilometers, Lieutenant Chen reported calmly. "No detection. Stealth holding." Ward nodded. "Good. Weapons ready. Shields on minimal to avoid detection. Everyone, prepare for decloak. This is it." The crew moved with silent precision. There was no panic, no hesitation. Every human on that bridge trusted each other completely. Their training had prepared them for this moment. Their simulations had anticipated the Empire's tactics, and now reality would test their skills. Back in the Imperial Command Center, Admiral Krath was reviewing patrol efficiency reports when the first anomaly appeared on the sensors. It was subtle, a flicker of energy that did not match the patterns of known ships. "Admiral?" "A spike," said Vrel, the nervous officer, his voice trembling slightly. "Energy spike near the outer belt. It looks like a ship, but it doesn't match any known signature." Krath frowned, his eyes narrowing. "Explain." "It's strange, sir. It appears, disappears, moving too fast for a normal vessel," Vrel stammered. The Admiral waved him off. "Do not waste my time with imagination, Vrel. Our patrols are in place. Nothing can reach us without detection. Continue monitoring and report only if it becomes a real threat." Vrel swallowed hard. He did not want to question the Admiral further. In the Empire, questioning authority was dangerous, even when the instinct screamed otherwise. Meanwhile, in the quiet of space, the human battleship was ready. Captain Ward took a deep breath and activated the decloak sequence. A soft hum filled the ship, barely audible, and for a moment, the darkness around them seemed to pulse. Then, like a shadow stepping into the light, the ship appeared. It decloaked right in the center of the Imperial fleet. Hundreds of alien ships turned automatically toward the source of the energy spike. Holographic displays lit up with warnings, alarms blaring across the command center. The human ship was enormous in their sensors, a single battleship surrounded by hundreds of Imperial vessels. Krath's eyes widened. He felt a jolt of disbelief. What is that?" he yelled, his voice echoing across the bridge. Officers froze, staring at the massive energy readings in shock. Vrel's antennae twitched nervously. "A human ship, Admiral. It decloaked right in the middle of our fleet." The Admiral's face turned pale. He had believed humans to be primitive. They were supposed to hide at the edges of space, insignificant and slow. And yet, here it was. One human battleship, bold, fearless, and powerful. "Raise shields! All ships! Defensive positions! Target that vessel!" Krath bellowed. The room erupted into chaos. Orders were shouted, consoles were slammed, and alien officers scrambled to respond. On the human battleship, Captain Ward remained calm. "Weapons hot. Ready on my mark. Keep formation tight. We strike precise, not reckless." Lieutenant Chen nodded. "Sensors show multiple Imperial weapons targeting us. Their firepower is massive, but they are disorganized. Many weapons systems are uncoordinated." "Good," Ward said quietly. "That is what we planned for. Everyone, trust the training. Remember, one smart move is better than 50 reckless attacks." The human crew worked as one, their coordination precise. They had studied the Empire's fleet patterns, their reaction times, and their weaknesses. Every move was calculated, every maneuver anticipated. Back in the Imperial Command Center, panic spread. Ships fired blindly at the human battleship, their weapons missing by miles. The Empire's confidence, their sense of invincibility, faltered as the human ship moved effortlessly through the formation. Krath slammed his clawed hands on the command console. "Focus fire! Do not let it escape!" But it was too late. Captain Ward's ship executed a series of precise maneuvers, firing energy pulses that disabled shields and weapons on several Imperial ships simultaneously. The explosions were brilliant but controlled, disabling enemy vessels without destroying them unnecessarily. The humans fought efficiently, precisely, and with discipline that the Empire had never seen. "Target the lead ship!" Krath shouted. "Destroy it!" The human ship moved faster than expected, dodging energy blasts with incredible skill. One well-aimed pulse struck the lead ship, disabling its shield generator and causing it to drift helplessly. Alien officers screamed in disbelief. "Impossible!" cried one officer. "How can a single human ship do this? They should be weak, primitive, inefficient." Krath's hands shook. For the first time, he felt fear, not just for himself, but for the Empire. They are not just attacking. They are controlling the battlefield. How? Captain Ward stood quietly on her bridge, her expression calm. She observed the chaos unfolding among the Imperial fleet. "They underestimate us," she said softly. "They think size and numbers matter more than skill and planning. They will learn soon." The human crew moved with fluid coordination. One group handled weapons, another shields, another navigation, all seamlessly communicating with each other. No panic, no hesitation, just calm efficiency. Each pulse of energy, each calculated maneuver demonstrated human ingenuity. Lieutenant Vargas spoke, a hint of awe in his voice. "Captain, they are regrouping, but they are slow. Their strategy is weak, predictable." Ward nodded. "Good. Let them think they can organize. Then we hit again, harder and faster." The Imperial Admiral realized the humans were not just surviving. They were dominating. Every move of the human ship countered their attacks, exploiting weaknesses no one else had ever seen. Imperial officers exchanged nervous glances. Morale began to waver. Confidence turned to doubt. "Concentrate fire on that vessel!" Krath roared. But his orders were chaotic. Officers were panicked, sensors overloaded, weapons misfiring. The humans had turned the Empire's greatest strength, size, and firepower into a weakness. Vrel, the nervous officer, whispered to a colleague, "Admiral, we are losing control. That ship, it's smarter than us." Krath's eyes widened. Impossible! The humans struck again. Captain Ward directed her crew with precision, disabling another cluster of Imperial ships' engines, leaving them drifting helplessly in space. She did not destroy them unnecessarily. Humans fought to win, not to cause wasteful destruction. The bridge of the human ship was calm amidst the chaos. Crew members worked as one, each move anticipated by the others. They communicated clearly, acted decisively, and trusted in their training. "Admiral Krath," Ward said quietly, "humans do not fight for glory alone. We fight for strategy, for efficiency, for survival. That is why we succeed where others fail." The words were not broadcast, but if the Imperial Admiral had heard them, he would have realized the truth. The humans were beyond his expectations, beyond prediction, and beyond control. By the end of the first hour, the human battleship had disabled several key Imperial vessels without destroying them, demonstrating both skill and restraint. The Empire's fleet, once confident and proud, was now in disarray. Ships drifted powerless, officers shouted contradictory orders, and morale had collapsed. Krath's voice rang with fury and fear. "Concentrate all fire! Surround that ship! We cannot allow it to survive!" But the humans anticipated every move. Captain Ward smiled faintly. "They think numbers win the day. Let them try. They are slow, predictable, and we are ready." Another wave of precise strikes disabled navigation systems on multiple ships, leaving the fleet scattered. The Empire's officers stared in disbelief. How could one human ship do this? Their arrogance, their overconfidence, had blinded them. Humans were not only fighting, they were teaching a lesson in courage, ingenuity, and unity. And so, in the darkness of space, the human battleship stood at the center of the Imperial fleet, calm, calculated, and unstoppable. Its crew worked seamlessly, each pulse of energy a testament to human skill. The Empire had underestimated them, and now they were paying the price. In the command center, Admiral Krath realized the truth. The humans were not primitive. They were brilliant, daring, and relentless. And the galaxy would never be the same again. The first shock of battle had ended. The Empire had learned a terrifying lesson. Humans were not to be underestimated. They were a force that combined courage, intelligence, and precision, qualities the Empire had never anticipated. The Imperial Starfleet was in chaos. Ships drifted across space, their shields flickering, engines damaged, and weapons offline. Officers barked orders, but their voices were drowned in confusion. For the first time, the Empire faced something it could not control. A single human battleship had shattered their confidence and demonstrated that skill and ingenuity could overcome sheer numbers. Admiral Krath paced on the bridge of his flagship, his blue skin reflecting the dim red emergency lights. He had spent decades conquering star systems, building fleets, and crushing weaker civilizations. Nothing had ever prepared him for this. "They are too precise," Krath muttered, his claws clenching. "Their maneuvers, their strategy, it is impossible." Vrel, still standing nervously near a console, whispered, "Admiral, they are exploiting our weaknesses. Every move we make, they anticipate. It's like they know what we will do next." Krath's eyes blazed with frustration. "Humans know what we will do next? Ridiculous!" Yet even as he spoke, another pulse from the human ship disabled a critical weapons array on his flagship. Alarms screamed, systems failed. The bridge crew scattered, attempting to contain the chaos. Across space, Captain Elena Ward observed the fleet's disarray. Her crew moved with calm precision, executing maneuvers they had trained for countless times. Humans were not the largest species in the galaxy. They did not have the most powerful weapons, but they had strategy, teamwork, and courage, qualities the Empire had underestimated. "Shields at 80%, Lieutenant Chen reported. "Enemy fire is erratic. Many ships are disabled or drifting. They are trying to regroup, but it will take them time. Good, Ward replied quietly. Let them think they can recover. That is when we strike again. Our goal is not destruction alone. It is control, precision, and demonstrating human capability. Lieutenant Vargas, who had been monitoring weapons, added, Captain, we could disable half their fleet if we push forward. Their coordination is weak. If we strike now, it could break them completely. Ward considered this for a moment. Prepare the maneuver, but proceed with caution. We are humans, not brutes. Disable, don't destroy. Show them skill, not mindless force. On the Imperial flagship, Admiral Krath realized the humans were doing more than fighting. They were teaching the Empire a lesson. Confidence had turned into fear. Pride had become doubt. Officers exchanged nervous glances, trying to understand what had gone wrong. Form a new attack cluster, Krath ordered, voice strained. Concentrate fire on that ship. We must destroy it. But his officers hesitated. The humans anticipated every predictable tactic. They moved through the Imperial formation like a shadow, dodging blasts and disabling ships with remarkable precision. For every command the Admiral gave, the humans had a response, a counter-move, a plan that exploited the Empire's overconfidence. Vrel whispered to a nearby officer, We are losing too many ships. Their efficiency, it's beyond anything we have seen. Krath's claws clenched. Do not speak such heresy, he barked, but even he could feel the panic creeping through his fleet. Captain Ward prepared her crew for the next maneuver. Deploy pulse strikes to the right flank. Navigation. Keep them unbalanced. Weapons, target engines, and shields only. Precision, not destruction. The human ships surged forward, weaving through the Imperial formation. Energy pulses struck their targets with unerring accuracy. Shields collapsed on several ships, engines failed, and weapons arrays went offline. Each strike was calculated, efficient, and decisive. Imperial officers shouted in panic, Focus fire! Don't let them escape! But chaos had already taken hold. Ships were drifting, formations broken, and communication lines overloaded. Humans were not just surviving, they were dominating. And they did so with a discipline that the Empire could not match. In the command center, Admiral Krath's mind raced. He realized that brute force alone would not defeat the humans. Every time they attempted to concentrate fire, the human ship moved faster, struck precisely, and disabled key systems without unnecessary destruction. Their tactics were superior, their coordination flawless. They are learning from us, Krath muttered. Every move we make, they adapt. How is this possible? Vrel shook his head. Admiral, they are humans. They think differently. They don't rely on sheer numbers. They rely on strategy, teamwork, ingenuity. Krath's eyes widened. Ingenuity? Against the Empire? Impossible. Yet even as he spoke, another pulse from the human ship struck the fleet's left wing, disabling several vessels at once. The Empire's pride, built over decades, was collapsing before his eyes. Captain Ward observed the unfolding chaos. They are trying to regroup, she said. Let them think they have a chance. Wait for the right moment to strike again. The human crew worked silently, each action precise. One group monitored enemy movements, another controlled shields, another targeted weapons and engines. Every move was coordinated. Every action had purpose. The humans were not just fighting, they were orchestrating a demonstration of skill, discipline, and courage. Captain, Lieutenant Chen said, we have an opening. Their lead ships are exposed. If we push forward, we can disable their command cluster. Ward nodded. Proceed, but maintain discipline. We are humans. We strike with intelligence, not recklessness. Back on the Imperial flagship, Admiral Krath's officers were panicking. Communications were jammed, formations broken, and critical ships drifting helplessly. Confidence had evaporated. For the first time, the Admiral realized that humans were more than their reputation suggested. They were adaptable, quick-thinking, and disciplined. "Concentrate fire on their left flank," Krath roared, but his voice lacked the conviction it once had. Officers were hesitant, unsure how to respond. The humans had seized the initiative, and the Empire's strength, its numbers, was now a liability. Vrel whispered, They are not reckless. They are precise. Every move counts." Krath's mind raced. He had conquered thousands of systems. He had crushed countless enemies, and yet these humans, these small, seemingly weak beings, were dismantling his fleet with skill, precision, and courage. The human battleship moved like a shadow through the Imperial fleet. Pulse after pulse struck its targets, disabling engines, shields, and weapons. The Empire tried to coordinate, but their size and overconfidence slowed them. Humans, though fewer in number, were faster thinkers, better coordinated, and relentless. Captain Ward's voice remained calm, even as alarms from the fleet echoed across the bridge. "Keep focused. We are showing them human capability. We are demonstrating that size and numbers are not everything. Strategy, teamwork, and courage win the day." Lieutenant Vargas added, "Captain, they are trying to retreat, but their path is blocked. We control the battlefield." Ward nodded. "Good. Maintain formation. Disable, don't destroy. Show them the difference between humans and the Empire." Imperial officers looked around at the disabled ships, the drifting vessels, and the chaos spreading across the fleet. Fear and doubt replaced confidence. They had believed the humans would be no threat, but the reality was undeniable. One human ship had broken their formations, disabled their weapons, and shown them the power of ingenuity. Admiral Krath felt his pride crumbling. Every command he gave seemed to fail. Every plan the Empire had relied on was ineffective. He realized the truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. They are teaching us a lesson," he muttered. "A single human ship, showing us the power of strategy, courage, and intelligence. How can this be?" Vrel swallowed hard. "Admiral, we have underestimated them. That was our mistake. Humans fight differently. They think differently. That is why they succeed." Krath could not deny it. The humans had turned the battle. They were not just surviving, they were winning. And in doing so, they had proven the unique strengths of humanity: intelligence, teamwork, bravery, and adaptability. Captain Ward watched the Imperial fleet, calm and calculated. "They are retreating, or at least trying to," she said. "Let them. We maintain control. We have shown them human capability, and we will leave them with a lesson they will not forget." The human battleship moved to a safe distance, keeping key Imperial vessels disabled but not destroyed. It was a display of skill, restraint, and honor, a demonstration of human ingenuity and courage. Lieutenant Chen said, "Captain, they are sending messages. They want to communicate." Ward smiled faintly. "Good. Let them speak. Humans fight with honor. We can show them mercy, even when we are stronger. That is who we are." By the end of the engagement, the Imperial fleet was scattered and disabled. Ships drifted across space, alarms blared, and morale had collapsed. The Empire's officers stared at the battlefield in disbelief. One human battleship had changed everything. Admiral Krath realized the truth he had refused to accept before. Humans were not weak. They were clever, courageous, and coordinated. They were a species that could not be underestimated, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Captain Ward stood at the helm, calm and composed. Her crew had executed their plan flawlessly, showing not only skill in battle, but also the humanity that defined them. They had fought efficiently, disabled without unnecessary destruction, and demonstrated that intelligence, courage, and teamwork were more powerful than numbers or arrogance. The first major encounter had ended. The humans had not just survived, they had won. And the Empire had learned a lesson it would never forget. Underestimating humans was the greatest mistake in galactic history. The battle had ended. The Imperial fleet, once a symbol of unmatched power, was now scattered, damaged, and demoralized. Ships drifted helplessly across space, some disabled entirely, while others struggled to coordinate under the sudden shock of human ingenuity. For the first time in his life, Admiral Krath, the proud commander of one of the Empire's greatest fleets, felt the sting of fear. He stood on the bridge of his flagship, eyes fixed on the holographic displays showing the remaining fleet. Officers whispered in panic, unsure what to do. Systems that had always functioned flawlessly now flickered with errors. Communications were jammed. The once confident fleet had no plan that could counter a single human battleship. Krath's voice shook as he spoke. "All officers, report. Tell me what remains operational." Vrel, the small green-skinned officer, stepped forward nervously. "Admiral, we have lost more than half our offensive capacity. Engines on several ships are offline. Weapons are damaged. Shields are failing on at least 20 vessels. The humans, they have proven superior in strategy and execution." Krath's claws clenched tightly. He could not deny it any longer. The humans were not only surviving, they were winning, and with precision, intelligence, and restraint. Pride and arrogance had led the Empire into a trap they had never imagined. In the distance, the human battleship glided calmly, engines barely humming, its hull unscathed. Captain Elena Ward stood at the helm, observing the Empire's fleet with careful attention. She did not celebrate the destruction, nor did she revel in the chaos she had caused. Humans fought not only to win, but to demonstrate capability, honor, and discipline. Lieutenant Chen, monitoring the battle aftermath, spoke quietly. "Captain, they are trying to communicate. Requests for negotiation." Ward nodded. "Good. Send a secure channel. We are humans. We fight with honor, and we show mercy when the outcome is clear." Vargas, scanning the Imperial ships, added, "Their morale is low. They are ready to listen. We can secure their cooperation without further combat." Ward smiled faintly. "Exactly. Let them learn the lesson of human ingenuity and discipline, but let them also see that humans respect skill and courage." Back on the Imperial flagship, Admiral Krath stared at the communication console. A secure channel from the human battleship appeared, offering terms. It was an unprecedented moment. No species had ever stood before the Empire so confidently and demanded terms after defeating them in battle. The Admiral's mind raced. Could this be? The humans had not only survived, they had dominated without unnecessary destruction, and now were offering guidance, not vengeance. Vrel whispered, "Admiral, they fight differently. They do not seek to destroy all. They seek to demonstrate superiority. That is human thinking." Krath's voice was rough but steady. "Prepare to accept communication. I want to hear what they have to say." The Admiral was cautious, yet he knew the Empire had no choice. The humans held the advantage. They were not only skilled warriors, but also disciplined leaders capable of diplomacy. The lesson was clear. Humans were a rising force in the galaxy, and ignoring them was no longer possible. Captain Ward's image appeared on the Admiral's holoscreen, calm and composed. Her presence was commanding, yet measured, radiating intelligence and authority. "Admiral Krath," she began, her voice steady and firm. "We are humans. We fight to demonstrate skill, honor, and discipline. Your fleet is impressive, but it is vulnerable to strategy, coordination, and intelligence. We offer terms not out of fear, but out of respect for skill. Accept these, and your fleet will recover with minimal losses. Refuse, and the consequences will be severe, though avoidable." Krath swallowed hard. He had faced countless enemies, each believing they were clever or strong. Yet none had ever shown this combination of skill, courage, and restraint. The humans were unlike anything he had encountered. What are your terms?" he asked, cautious, yet compelled by the necessity of the moment. Ward's expression remained calm. "First, we request a temporary ceasefire in this system. Second, the Empire must acknowledge that humans are capable, strategic, and not to be underestimated. Third, any recovery or reinforcement of your fleet must be coordinated with human oversight to ensure minimal loss of life and continued stability in this sector." "This is not an act of subjugation, Admiral. It is an opportunity to demonstrate honor, learn from mistakes, and prevent unnecessary destruction." Krath's jaw tightened. Pride fought against reason, but he knew he had no choice. The humans had outmaneuvered him in every way. He had no countermeasure for their strategy, no plan that could regain the initiative. Finally, he nodded. "Agreed," he said slowly. "Temporary ceasefire, acknowledgement of humans' capability, coordination for recovery. It is accepted." On the human battleship, Captain Ward observed the Admiral's acceptance. She nodded to her crew. "Good. Maintain vigilance, but reduce offensive posture. We have made our point. Humans are respected, not feared alone, but respected for skill, courage, and coordination." Lieutenant Chen relaxed slightly. "They will recover faster if we assist. Efficiency is key." Ward smiled. "Yes, we are humans. We win with intelligence, not waste. Now let's ensure they learn the value of respect and strategy." The Empire's fleet began coordinated recovery under human guidance. Disabled ships were repaired or stabilized, engines restarted, and communications restored. Officers marveled at the humans' discipline and foresight. The Empire had assumed that raw power and numbers were everything, yet they now understood the true advantage humans possessed: intelligence, teamwork, and courage. Vrel, standing near the Admiral, whispered to a colleague, They think differently. They do not rely on fear or brute force. They rely on strategy, anticipation, and honor. That is remarkable." Krath could not dispute it. He had witnessed firsthand how humans had dismantled his fleet, controlled the battlefield, and now offered terms with restraint and dignity. The lesson was clear. Underestimate humans at your peril. In the aftermath, the human battleship prepared to leave the system. Captain Ward's crew moved efficiently, maintaining formation, ensuring all systems were secure, and scanning for any residual threats. Their mission had been completed. They had demonstrated human capability, disabled the Imperial fleet with precision, and ensured the Empire understood the power of strategy and intelligence. "Prepare to depart," Ward said. "We have made our mark. The Empire will remember this encounter. Humans are not just fighters, they are thinkers, planners, and disciplined leaders. Let them learn respect for skill and courage." The crew nodded, ready to leave the sector behind. The stars stretched endlessly before them, silent witnesses to the humans' audacity and brilliance. On the Imperial flagship, Admiral Krath convened his officers. He spoke with a mixture of frustration, awe, and reluctant admiration. "Humans, they are unlike anything we have faced," he said. "They are small in number, yet their skill surpasses our largest fleets. They do not rely on fear, brute strength, or arrogance. They rely on intelligence, coordination, and courage. We must remember this." Vrel nodded. "Yes, Admiral. They are a rising force. The galaxy must respect their skill and ingenuity. We have underestimated them, and it nearly cost us everything." Krath sighed. He realized that pride had blinded him, but he also understood the lesson the humans had taught. Confidence is not enough. Discipline, strategy, and respect for intelligence are what define true strength. The human battleship entered hyperspace, leaving the Imperial fleet behind. Captain Ward watched the last flickers of the Empire's ships fade into the distance. "We have accomplished our goal," she said. "Humans are respected. We have demonstrated courage, intelligence, and honor. The Empire will never underestimate us again." Lieutenant Chen added, "They will recover, but now with knowledge and caution. Humans have set a precedent. Our reputation grows." Ward smiled. "Yes, and that is the essence of being human. We think, we adapt, and we act with courage. Others may rely on numbers, power, or fear, but we rely on skill, intelligence, and heart. That is what makes us strong." In the Imperial Command Center, Admiral Krath stood silently, staring at the fading energy readings of the human battleship. Pride and humility battled within him. The Empire had faced many challenges, but none had demonstrated skill and discipline like the humans. They had fought with courage, outmaneuvered a superior fleet, and offered terms of peace with dignity. Krath spoke softly to his officers. "Remember this encounter. Humans are not merely another species. They are thinkers, leaders, and warriors. The galaxy has changed. Never underestimate them again." Vrel nodded, a mixture of fear and admiration in his eyes. "Yes, Admiral, they are extraordinary. Humans are capable of greatness." The Admiral exhaled slowly. The battle was over, but its lessons would endure. The Empire had been humbled, and humans had proven that intelligence, teamwork, and courage were forces more powerful than numbers, weapons, or arrogance. As the human battleship sailed into the depths of space, Captain Ward reflected on the journey. They had faced a mighty empire, overcome overwhelming odds, and shown the galaxy what humanity was capable of. The crew had acted with precision, courage, and honor. Every move had demonstrated the essence of humanity: adaptability, intelligence, and bravery. "Set course for the next mission," Ward said. "Humans have made their mark, but our journey is just beginning. There is more to see, more to learn, and more to prove. The galaxy will remember us, not for fear, but for skill, honor, and courage." And with that, the human battleship disappeared into the stars, leaving a legacy that would echo across the galaxy. A single human ship had turned the tide, taught a mighty empire humility, and proven that humans were a force to be reckoned with, clever, brave, and unstoppable.